Welcome, everyone. In the world of high-stakes claims, things are about to change in a big way. We're not here to talk about small, incremental improvements. No, today we're going to talk about a fundamental shift, a whole new way of doing things that gives you incredible speed and unbreakable cryptographic proof.
Okay, let's just start with a number. 75%. That number right there, it pretty much changes the entire conversation around operational efficiency.
And what is that 75%? Well, that's the average time saved on manual review for your attorneys and adjusters. And this isn't some minor tweak. We're talking about a massive reduction in the slow, manual, error-prone work that bogs down your most valuable and most expensive teams. But speed is only half the story, right?
Because let's be honest, in high-stakes claims, speed without proof isn't just risky, it's a huge liability just waiting to happen. So the real question is, how do you get both? How do you get that game-changing speed and the ironclad proof to back it up? Well, that's what we're going to break down. Okay, so let's dive into the core challenge here. To really get a handle on the power of this solution, you first have to understand the problem it's built to solve. And it's a big one. We call it the high-stakes fidelity gap.
So what is this fidelity gap? It's not just about things being a little inefficient. No, it's this black box filled with legal and financial risk. It's the void between what you think is happening based on your policies and what's actually happening down at the patient level. And you know what lives in that void? Lost revenue, just disappearing into a fog of bad data and operational drag.
And look, this isn't just a theory. Here's some data from a recent pilot that just lays it all out, plain and simple. Under the old manual process, an audit takes, 3 to 5 business days? With the Claim Calc Pro rail, we're talking less than 2 seconds. And what does that speed get you? Well, look at the bottom line, a 14% increase in recovery. So we're not just making things faster, we are fundamentally changing the financial outcome. So that's the problem. How do we fix it? How do we close that gap and get that value back where it belongs? The answer lies in a completely different way of thinking about our data. It's about moving away from just keeping logs and hoping they're right to building a truly verifiable chain of custody. And here's the secret sauce: citations as code. This is the big idea. Just think of it like this. For every single fact, every piece of information, we create a digital cryptographic anchor. That diagnosis, anchored. That dollar amount, anchored. Every legal reference anchored right back to its exact origin in the source documents. So what you're building isn't just some flimsy audit trail. No, you're creating a rock-solid, verifiable chain of custody. And that black box we talked about, it's gone. And it works in this really simple but incredibly powerful 3-step process. First, we anchor every data point to its exact coordinates in the source file. Then we commit to it. We lock that link in place with a cryptographic hash so it can never, ever be changed. And finally, and this is the critical part, you can verify it. Anyone can verify that link at any time, which gives you absolute 100% source traceability. It's legally defensible because it's mathematically provable. Okay, so that's the how. Now let's talk about the foundation that makes all this possible: security. And I want to be really clear here. For us, security isn't just a feature you bolt on at the end. It's the absolute, non-negotiable bedrock of the entire architecture. We achieve this with what's called a zero-knowledge architecture, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It means we, the platform, have zero knowledge of your sensitive data. We can't see it, we never see your master keys, we never see the actual documents in plain text, none of it. All the important stuff, the encryption, the decryption, the processing, it all happens on your side inside your secure perimeter. So here's the core promise you can take to your CISO, laid out plain and simple. On the left is what the platform never sees: your master keys, your plain text documents, your sensitive data, period. And on the right, here's what the platform can safely do: store your encrypted data blobs, enforce access policies using cryptography, not by peeking inside, and run verification on public proofs. We help you manage and verify everything without ever needing to see the sensitive stuff. And this security isn't just a handshake agreement, right? It's enforced by the math through a really smart, multi-layered key hierarchy. The best way to think of it is like a bank vault with a bunch of nested safety deposit boxes. You have your master key, which never leaves your device. That's non-negotiable. Then, from that master key, other specific keys are derived for your workspace, for each proof pack, and even for individual documents. So what does that mean for you? It means you get super fine-grained control, and most importantly, data sovereignty always stays with you, always.
Okay, so let's get to the payoff. Let's talk about the actual tangible proof that comes out of this system. This is what makes that insane audit speed a reality.
And what is that proof? It's something we call a sovereign proof pack. You can think of it as a cryptographic receipt for your claim. It's a single, sealed, portable file. Inside it has all the proof, all the signatures, hashes, the complete chain of custody. But here's the really clever part. It contains none of the actual sensitive data itself. It's payload-free, all proof, no liability. And how long does it take to verify the absolute integrity of this entire package? To check every signature, every timestamp, every hash for tampering? Less than 60 seconds. That's it. So when we say verify, what are we actually checking in that minute? Well, you can confirm the pack's integrity, that nothing's been changed. You can validate every single user and organizational signature. You can check the trusted timestamps. You can even use Merkle proofs to verify that a specific field in a document is untampered. And your teams can do all of this almost instantly without ever needing access to sensitive PHI or PII. That's huge. Okay, so we've got all this amazing tech, all the cool cryptography, but what's the so what? What does it actually mean for the business? Well, it's about a massive shift in mindset. It's about turning compliance from something that just costs you money into a genuine strategic advantage. That's right, the fidelity gap, that black box we talked about. That's where your revenue's leaking away. What we do is make it visible. Your audit trail stops being this dusty old record you only pull out when you're in trouble. Instead, it becomes a real-time intelligence tool. It shows you exactly where the gaps are, so you can measure them and, most importantly, get that revenue back. And the impact is real. You can see it right here in the numbers. You get a 75% faster procurement process. Why? Because you can prove you're audit ready from day one. You see a 40% drop in escalations. Why? Because the data is irrefutable. There's nothing to argue about. And you get this near-perfect trust score, because you can prove cryptographically that your entire data posture is sovereign and secure. So this is the question I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at your own systems right now. Is your audit trail a liability, a ticking clock you're just hoping never goes off? Or could it be an asset? Because the technology is here right now to transform that liability into a powerful, verifiable, and ultimately revenue-generating asset. The choice, really, is yours.